Dan, well, it's go time again. I know how much you love the sport, love the competition. So what's the energy like for you right now?
Energy's good. Energy's high. Excited to kick the year off. Well, in February, but excited to go again.
Co-main event, obviously a great opponent. Get on card with Brad Tavares as well, man. I guess how special is that experience for you guys to be able to share these moments together?
That's probably honestly the most special part of this whole card. Is just competing with Big Bro. Brad Tavares took me in. Pretty sure you guys know the story, but when I moved to Vegas, Brad was the first guy. He opened up his couch. I had no money. I slept on his couch. Literally walked into his house, spilled my whole jar of chia seeds all over the house. And he's like, "What the fuck are chia seeds?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, they're healthy. I don't know." And he's like, "You fucking dumbass. You spilled chia seeds everywhere." So I'm pretty sure he still has chia seeds in his house.
Obviously, you guys both have fights ahead. It's big business, and but do you guys get to kind of relax, enjoy, and share stories like that with each other on a week like this?
Yeah, me and Brad are on the sticks every night. That's my self-care. So, it's nice to reminisce and just look back at those little things and just make each other laugh and think about the good times, because the good times always last. So I'm grateful. I may never ever get a chance to compete on the same card with him again. So I'm taking it all in, and we're looking to go out there and do some big things.
That's awesome. All right, talk about the matchup here. Obviously, it was a change in opponents. What do you think about the fight you have now, and how much did it adjust what you were planning to do?
As far as technical adjustments, it's fairly similar. Lerone was well skilled everywhere, so I had to be mindful and prepared everywhere. As with Feely, I think on a popularity level, Feely is definitely the more experienced, the bigger star. He's a bigger name, even though rankings, then the rankings don't really matter. Lerone was below me anyway, so it's like it's going to be a fun fight. It's a big fight, and I think people will be tuning in. They don't want to miss this fight.
I agree. I was going to ask you if there was any hesitation, right? Because I think you just said it right. Lerone may have the number, but Feely, I feel like, has the reputation. That's no disrespect to Lerone, but just Feely's been around, has a track record. So did you have to think about it? Does this make sense, or was it automatically in?
Honestly, it didn't. It really didn't matter who they offered me. My mind was set on fighting. When you go through a camp and you've invested a lot into yourself, into being disciplined, into sacrificing time from family and friends and whatever, your vices are, you sacrifice a lot. And, especially with my wife being pregnant again, she's 37 weeks pregnant. There was no no, I'm just going to sit this one out and wait for something. You don't do that, dude. We're warriors, we go out there and fight. And, so yeah, they offered Andre Feely, and I was excited. It's going to be a war.
I know you'll fight anybody, but I did wonder, given his style and given the fact that he's a respectful dude as well, right? Is this a fight that you kind of look forward to? There's no going to be any bad blood or trash talk, and I don't think stylistically it's just going to be a scrap.
Yeah, I admire Andre. I'm a fan of his. As a fight fan, I was very happy for him and. His last fight in December, I think I tweeted that I was genuinely happy for the guy, because, he's a likable dude. And when you see a guy like Andre that, you go through, he's like myself, but more experience, he's fought the who's who. He's fought some of the best. He's climbed the ladder. He's fallen. He's climbed. He's fallen. And just to see him get a win, it made me feel good. I felt good for him, because I know what it means. I know how much goes into the sport. So a lot of respect on that side. But at the same time, this is a fight and this is business, and I can't be his friend in there. We have to fight. This. It feels like I was saying earlier. It kind of feels like when you and your friend in high school get into a disagreement and you have to fight. That's literally what it feels like. We're gonna have to fight to settle whatever disagreement, because he put his name in the hat. At the same time, I'm grateful because it gave me a fight, but you put your name in the hat to fight me because you obviously, number one, believe you can beat me, but number two, that's stealing. It's like stealing from me. So we got to fight, dude. We have to settle it.
How often in Hawaii in school do guys like friends just fight? Is that like a daily occurrence or like weekly? Like two guys that are buddies just have to go handle business outside?
Every day. I mean, that was every day growing up. I rode the city bus every single day in high school. I didn't drive a car. I didn't get my license until I was like 21. So I literally rode the city bus every single day, and it was scary. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm getting in a fight today. And a lot of times you fight your friends because your friends are just being idiots and dumb friends, and they're just instigating fights. So you're just like, but you want to, put on a, I don't know what you want to call it, but you just like, you don't want to be a bitch. So you just, you just fight. It's easier to fight than like make up an excuse to not fight. So I'd rather you just fight.
I think maybe the UFC could use that as a tagline. Instead of like as real as it gets, like don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Last thing for me, what's the goal? Like you said, kind of kicking off 2024. I mean, a big win here, but baby on the way. So I imagine a little time off as well. Like, what's the plan? How do you see this one shaking out?
Yeah, get through Saturday night, and I do plan to take a little time off. I know last time when I fought Gavin Tucker, same situation, same scenario. I knocked him out. I called out Korean Zombie. They literally offered me Korean Zombie when we were in the hospital. She was giving birth, and I was like, I can't deny the guy I just called out. And, going through that whole camp with a newborn, it's just, I want to enjoy that a little bit. I kind of missed that the first time. So, I plan to fight Saturday, and, maybe we'll see me back in the fall. Maybe I'll fight some tough Mexican at the Sphere, and I think that would make a lot of sense.
Hey, Dan. What lessons did you take from the Bryce Mitchell fight? It was a very, very close fight. And I guess just, on top of that, you were riding this finally on a win streak after a tough couple of years, and then, that happens.
It's frustrating. It's a frustrating fight for me to watch because, I know I can beat the guy, but I didn't beat the guy. And it was just a little, a lack of urgency, a little, kind of being a little too comfortable in there. I never really felt in danger. And that kind of lack of urgency got me in trouble, got me hurt, and ultimately lost the fight. So just take little things like that, and you just got to move on and get better. There's nothing you could do. You can't change history, but, you could change your future.
It's a big fight in your division next week. I just want your thoughts on Volkanovski and Topuria.
Yeah, that's a huge fight. It's exciting. Topuria is very skilled, very confident, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know if you're asking me for a prediction. I think Volk is, one of the pound for pound best in the world. I'm not saying that Topuria isn't. I just think he has that championship edge. He's been there. He's fought, I don't know how many title fights, been the distance in a lot of them. That's a ton of experience, and I think he'll pull it off.
And I wanted to ask about Aljamain Sterling coming up to featherweight. Obviously, you've trained with him a bit. How do you think he'll do coming up to featherweight?
I mean, Alja's a big dude. I think it comes down to him believing in his own capabilities because he's definitely one of the best in the world. And it comes down to him believing in himself that he is and that he's capable to do what he can do. What he did at bantamweight, he could also do at featherweight. I train with, he's bigger than me. He's a big dude, but I think I don't know if he knows that, but he's learning. He's training at the PIs, doing a bunch of testing, and but some of those numbers too, you can't let it get to your head. You can't they'll tell you you're below average somewhere. You can't listen to that shit because you can still be a champion. So he's a student of the game. I know he studies everyone, every aspect, and he's always looking, asking questions, trying to get better. So yeah, it's a pleasure training with him. But yeah, he's a 145er, dude. He's solid.
And finally, who's winning the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Dude, they asked me that question. I don't really. I don't even know. I don't know.
Niners or Chiefs?
Raiders. I don't know.
It's hard to follow. Hard to follow that up. You stepped up to everybody. You don't turn down no guys, but with two guys who do respect each other, and we could, see this has Fight of the Night written all over it. How good was it when that name came across? And you're like, okay, I got a guy in my face who's gonna bring it. That's who I match up with just fine.
Well, that's literally what Sean Shelby texted me. Like when he offered me the fight, he's like, "At least this guy's not gonna run. He's not like he." Those were his exact words. So it's like, it's a banger, dude. It's a banger. Feely's a scrapper, and so am I. And yeah, it's a fan friendly fight that you don't want to miss.
And you're here on the Ninth Island. You got Big Brother. You got Philly. Like the Polynesian Islander folks are being represented. Does that make you just a little more fired up, to bring it on Saturday, or you would bring it regardless?
I try to bring it regularly, but yeah, definitely, there's a little extra, fire, a little extra edge. I'm just going to go out there and, look to put on my best performance as always. I always want to go out there and try to be my absolute best and make a statement.
Yes, sir. And last, for me, we haven't talked since we chatted for your last event. How has been the progress or more reception, more educating people with Maui, and how you use your platform to educate folks, get them to pitch in, help out that situation? Anything new you could bring us?
No, I mean, I think the people have come together, and you see a lot of social media, and I love, the power of social media because it really does bring people together to help certain causes. And Maui's just going to be one of those places. It's going to take a lot of time, but the people of Hawaii are so strong, and they can't be phased. So it's I know there's a lot of political stuff. I don't get involved really in politics, but it's just all I know is the people of Hawaii are strong, and they're going to find a way.
Sir, thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks.
I just got one for you, Dan. Dana White said after Movsar's last fight against Arnold Allen, he kind of said, that was the least fun fight that anybody's ever seen that night. Do you think the way that guys like yourself and Josh Emmett fight, do you think in the long run, an exciting knockout for you is always going to give you the advantage to kind of jump the rankings over guys that kind of fight with the style that Movsar has?
I think so. I mean, although I somewhat disagreed with that. I thought it was a good fight. It was a good technical fight, but they kind of downplay those guys a little bit just because of the style. It's not like for your general fan. Like maybe it's not the funnest to watch. I thought it was a great fight, but given when you have knockout power in either hand and you can put guys to sleep with one punch, I think that definitely gives you some negotiation power and leverage. So that's something that I have that will always, that's what's kept me around for so long. I don't want to just be a guy that, because I lost 2, I get cut, but because I always have that ability to put someone's lights out cold and create another highlight reel for the machine. They love that. They love those highlight reels. So it's hard to make a highlight reel off a guy that's just getting decisions, and it's all about promotion in this sport. It is a business. It's entertainment. So if you don't have the mouth, to promote yourself, you got to have the fighting or the highlight reels. Yeah. Right on, guys. Thank you.